Welcome to our practice today. This is a chair yoga practice designed to help strengthen our core. Helping me today is my good friend, Asmaret. And between the two of us, we hope to give you some options to use through the practice today. Starting, make sure that you have a couple blocks or at least a stack of books or towels to place under your feet, especially if your feet are dangling, like if Asmaret and I don't use our blocks, our feet would be dangling. So grab something to place underneath your feet to make sure that your feet aren't dangling. And also, ideally, you would have a 90-degree bend in the knee and the hips. We're going to start in our tuning in posture. This helps us to make the transition from the external world to our inner being. And we start by closing our eyes. If closing your eyes is not comfortable, then at least have a soft gaze down. So you don't have to necessarily close your eyes, but at least have a soft gaze down. Allow your shoulders to relax as they melt away from your ears. Sitting up tall, nice and tall, so you don't want to slouch or slump forward. You want to sit up as nice and tall as you can, resting your back at the back of the chair. You're welcome to either have the palms facing down or facing up in a receiving gesture. That is, again, up to you completely. With your eyes closed, begin to follow the path of your breath. And that simply means that you are imagining you could see your breath as it flows in and flows out. Try to breathe in and out through your nose. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. Staying connected to your breath is a wonderful way for us to stay present in our practice. It might help if you count the seconds of your inhalation. So may I offer you to count maybe up to 4. So inhale to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale to the count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that again. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just now, again, let your breath find its natural rhythm. Begin to bring your attention now to the sensations in your body. Do what we call a body scan, scanning from head to toe, identifying areas in your body that might feel a little tension, a little soreness, a little tightness, gripping, pain. And give yourself permission to honor those areas throughout our practice today. So if you're feeling some tenderness in your low back, and we're doing a posture that is causing even more gripping and tension in your lower back, take the option. Take the option or simply come out of the pose and sit in a relaxed posture. So take a few moments in silence to perform that body scan from head to toe. Take another deep breath, inhale. And as you exhale, begin to blink your eyes open. Let's come now to the edge of the chair. So I'm taking my blocks with me and come seated at the edge of the chair in what we call seated Tadasana. I move around a lot, so just stay where you're at. And so I move around so that you can see me from the side. I'm moving my blocks with me so that I can still have that 90-degree bend in my knees and my hips. Sitting up nice and tall in seated Tadasana. The chin is parallel to your chest. Shoulders are pulled away from the ears. When you inhale, imagine that you could touch the crown of your head to the ceiling. So as you inhale, imagine lengthening and that you can touch the crown of the head to the ceiling, but your tailbone is still rooted onto the chair. So inhale and imagine the space between your vertebrae increasing every time you inhale. And as you exhale, the vertebrae comes back to its normal. So continue to do that. This is a wonderful way to not only connect with our breath, but to also gently massage our spine. This is something that you could do standing in line at the grocery store, inhaling and lengthening through each vertebra, exhaling and allowing it to come back to its normal position. So can you imagine a wonderful way to lengthen the spine, to massage the spine? We're going to add to that some movement to help strengthen our core. So as this is a core practice, we're going to start with that right away. First of all, I want to explain to you, you have these two hip bones. So why don't you place your hand on those bones and identify those bones, right? Now every time you exhale, I want you to imagine bringing, and you can draw those two bones towards each other, okay? Now you have your pubic bone, so then you're also going to imagine you can bring your pubic bone up to your navel. And then you're going to imagine you can bring your navel back to your spine. So 3 things I want you to think about just with the breath. So take a deep breath, inhale, and allow everything to relax. Exhale, imagine you can draw those 2 bones towards each other, the pubic bone up to the navel and the navel back to the spine. So close your eyes and let's do that. Inhale and release. Exhale and squeeze everything together. 2 hip bones coming towards each other. And just move with your breath now. Move naturally with your breath. But every time you exhale, your hip bones are drawing towards each other. Your pubic bone is drawing up towards your navel. And your navel is drawing back towards your spine. So you should also already feel that engaging of the core. Now go ahead and blink your eyes open. Let's add some movement with our arms and add some shoulder mobility. Now remember, every time you exhale, visualize pulling those muscles in together. Pubic bone up, navel back to the tailbone. So let's try that. Bring the arms out to the side, palms facing the front. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, flip the palms down. Engage the core as you push your hands like you're pushing through mud. And your exhale should last all the way down. Inhale, flip the palms, sweep them up. Exhale, pull the belly button to the spine, hip bones towards each other, pubic bone towards the navel, and exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. So 2 more times. Bring the arms out in front of you. Sweep them up over your head. Good. Lengthen. And then push like you're pushing through mud. Esmeralda, squeeze the core. Engage all those core muscles. 1 more time. Okay? Here we go. Flip those arms up. Inhale. Flip the palms down. And push as if you're pushing through mud. Engaging all the core muscles. And release. Cat-cow. Inhale, arch your back. So place your hands on top of your thighs. Inhale, you're going to arch your back, lift your chest, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round the back, pull the belly button to the spine, chin to chest. This is called cat-cow. Starting with cow is the inhale, lift the chest, arch the back. That's your inhale. Exhale, round the back, blow all the air out, belly button to the spine, chin to the chest. 2 more. Inhale, lift the back, lift the chest, arch the back. Exhale, round into cat. 1 more. Inhale to cow, lift the chest, arch the back. Exhale to cat, round the back, chin to chest, belly button to spine. And inhale back to Tadasana, to our neutral Tadasana. Seated twist. Inhale, lengthen the spine, crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Exhale, twist over the right. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, twist over to the left. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, twist to the right. Continue to move with your breath. When you're ready to inhale, you untwist. When you're ready to exhale, you twist. So continue to move with your breath. You could add the movement of the arms, which we're going to do now. Come to the center. We're going to add the arms. Inhale, lift up. As you exhale, you bring the one hand behind you, the other hand to the outside of your leg. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring the arms down and twist. Last time, inhale up and exhale down. Inhale, untwist, bring the hands down to the side, right to the side. Good, untwist and then come to the center. We're going to add a side lateral movement. You could either keep the hands down, and if you have the leg of a chair handy, you can slide the hand down as we bend to one side and the other. So inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, bend over to the left side. Keep doing that with your breath. Again, when you inhale, you lengthen and straighten. When you exhale, you bend over to the side. Keep moving, please, keep moving. When you bend over to the side, make sure that you're not bending forward or leaning back. So you'd like to make sure that you are moving like a pendulum. As you move side to side, pendulum, you keep the shoulders stacked. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, bend. Let's add the arm movement with that. Inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, bring the right hand down to the leg of the chair and you bend over to the side. Inhale, you bring the arm back up. Exhale, arm down, lean over to the side. Continue to move with your breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, laterally bend over to the side. Beautiful. Keep going, Esmeralda. Now, you could look down. You could look down if you like. You could look straight ahead. You could look up to the ceiling. As you continue to move, make sure that this hip stays rooted into the chair. So it's not about how far you bend over. It's about staying in the 2 panes of glass, and keeping your hips rooted to the chair. and then come to neutral and relax. We're going to put those movements together in a seated vinyasa. And a vinyasa simply means we are connecting our breath with the movement. So we're going to start with 4 movements, starting with what I call moving through mud. Then we're going to add the cat-cow, the twist, and the side lateral. Bring the arms down to the side. Inhale, flip the palms up to the ceiling. Exhale, move through mud as you press your hands through mud. Place your hands on top of your thighs. Inhale, arch your back, lift the chest to cow. Exhale, round the back, belly button to the spine, cat. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, bring the arms to your side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, twist over to the right. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist over to the left. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, bring the right hand down, laterally bend over to the right. Inhale, bring the right arm up. Exhale, bring the left hand down, laterally bend over. Inhale, bring both arms up. Exhale, bring both hands down. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweep the palms up. Exhale, palms down, engage the core, pull the hips together. Bring the hand to the thighs. Inhale, arch the back, lift the chest. Exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Inhale, come back up to neutral as you bring the hands to your side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, twist over to your right. Bring the hands down to your thigh. Asma, bring the hand down to your thigh.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, twist. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist over to the left. Now we'll do the side. Inhale. Exhale, just bring the right hand down. Lean over. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, lean over. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, bring the hands down, back to Tadasana. Moving on to Utkatasana, it's a chair pose. Move the blocks out of your way, move your props out of your way. Come towards the edge of the chair, just make sure, of course, you're not going to fall off the edge of the chair. We're going to start with our hands on our thighs. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and just hinge forward, keeping your back flat. Inhale, sit back up. Exhale, hinge forward into chair pose. Inhale, sit back up. If you find that having the hands on the thighs is way too easy for you, I'm going to give you several options that you can try. The first option would be to bring your hands across your chest. So Asmaret, if you want to try that. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward. Keep the back flat. Inhale, straight back up. If that was too easy, bring the arms straight out in front of you. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, come back up. If that was too easy, bring the arms up by your ears. Turn like you want to turn your pinkies inward. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and hinge forward. Utkatasana. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, bring the hands down. So I've given you 4 options. You choose the option that you feel best to do today. And we're going to hold it for 5 breaths. Here we go, Asmaret. Do you know which option you want? Okay. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, up, and now let's take that option. So whatever option you want, inhale, lengthen, exhale, hinge forward for 5 breaths. Your 5 breaths. So if you have your arms in front of you, you spin the palms like pinkies going to touch each other. You lift the chest a little bit more. Good. Strengthening through the lower back. When you're done with your 5 breaths, come back up to Tadasana with the hands down. Moving on from that, we're going to add what I call hovering. And what that means is you're going to hover off the chair. Walk your feet in a little bit more to give you some stability. Also, make sure that your feet are hip-width apart, so you can bring your feet out a little bit wider, Asmaret. Even your heels and your feet there. Perfect. Okay. Let's start with the hands on the thighs for this next option. So inhale, lengthen up, straighten the spine. Exhale, hinge forward. Okay, good. Now hover, so lift your bum off the seat just for a few, and then stand all the way up. And then hover, so sit back in Utkatasana, and then sit back on the chair. Okay? One thing I want to remind you of is when you come into Utkatasana, let me show you. When you come into Utkatasana, try to get the weight more towards the heel, not towards your toes. So you don't want your knees passing your toes. So think about pushing the weight into your heels when you come to Utkatasana. So now you decide to take the option with your arms. Option 1, 2, 3, or 4.
3.
Okay? All right? So go ahead and take your option with the arms, whatever you want. Inhale, lengthen the spine, straighten it, beautiful. Exhale, hinge, keep the back flat, keep it nice and flat. Come up, hover, hover. 1, 2, 3. Stand all the way up. 1, 2, 3. Hover. 1, 2, 3. Have a seat gently down. Bring the hands down. We're going to do that maybe 2 more times. So take your option with your arms. If you found that maybe that option was a little bit difficult for you or easy, decide which one you want to take now. We're going to do it at least 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, come into your Utkatasana, your chair pose. Come to a hover. 1, 2, 3. Stand up. 1, 2, 3. Hover. 1, 2, 3. Have a seat. 1, 2, 3. Utkatasana. 1, 2, 3. Hover. 1, 2, 3. Stand up. 1, 2, 3. Hover. 1, 2, 3. Utkatasana. Hands down to Tadasana. Utkatasana is a wonderful pose to help strengthen the back. And our core is not just about the front. We seem to think our core is just here in the abdominal area. But this core is our whole area. What we call this center, our back, our hips, our abdominals. We're going to do what's called pointing dog now. That's going to strengthen our hips, our back, also help with some balance. Standing up, come over to the side of your chair. Take a look at your feet and make sure that they are hip width apart. And when we stand, our hips are over our knees. So we want the hips to stay over the knees when you bring your hands down. So bring the hands down to the seat of the chair, making sure that your hips stay over the knees. Great, it's beautiful. Also in this pointing dog, got a nice flat back. If you find that the seat of the chair is too low, for some people it might be, you could use your blocks. Asmaret doesn't need it, but I just want you to see that you could use your blocks, because if you bend forward and you're rounding through your back, that means the seat of the chair is too low. So bring the seat up by using blocks. Okay, so she doesn't need it, but also, if you have some issues with your wrist, you could do this on your forearms. So you could come to your forearms, but once again, making sure that your back is flat and the hips are over the knees and the ankles. So Asmaret, you decide which version of pointing dog you would like to take. Pointing dog, we start with, again, Imagining that you could reach the crown of your head towards the front of the room here and the tailbone towards the back. Lengthen the spine. Your arms are shoulder width apart and they're straight, so you're also trying to strengthen through the arms. This is a great place to stop if you feel this is enough for you. This might be your stopping point in pointing dog, and this is great. If you're going to stay here, still think about engaging your core. So every time you exhale, engage the core muscles that we talked about, as far as pulling the hip bones towards each other, the pubic bone up towards the navel, and the navel to the spine, every time you exhale. If you'd like to increase the intensity of this, let's take our right foot back and just keep the foot, the toes touching the floor. You can place a soft bend in your left knee as well. Stay there, please, and just breathe. Be mindful that your hips are facing the floor, so that you want to keep your hips facing the floor. Good. So you can stay right here, or if you like, lift the right leg up and imagine that you want to touch your foot to the wall behind you. Keep these hips facing forward. You could stay here. This is another stopping point. You can now decide to straighten this left arm and bring the fingertips to the floor. The thumb is facing up like you want to shake somebody's hand. So this is another stopping point. To increase the intensity, you could lift this arm up by your ear. The hands are reaching towards the room in front of you, the wall in front of you. The foot is reaching to the wall behind you. The head is reaching the crown towards the wall in front of you. So stretch, Asmaret, lengthen, breathe. Put the hand down, put the foot down, bend the knees, stand up. So I showed you all the progressions. Now we're going to do the same thing, opposite leg. Come to pointing dog. Again, decide, you're going to stay here. Take a look at your feet. Are your feet hip width apart and parallel to each other? Stay here, or take the left foot back, toes touching the floor. Stay there, or lift the left leg. Stay there, or take the right hand to the edge of the chair with the arms straight. That's one option. And the last option would be to bring the right arm up by your ear. Beautiful. Make sure those hips are facing the floor. We don't want to turn out. There we go. Good. Reach that foot to the back of the room. Lengthen. Reach the hand towards the front of the room and your crown of the head. Very good. Stretch as we're at. Reach. Put the hand down. Put the foot down. Bend the knees. Stand up. And then just shake it out. Are you up for one more time on each side? This time hold it for 5 breaths. Go immediately to your option. So you choose which option, and you're going to hold it for 5 breaths, and I'm going to adjust Asmanette just to tweak. She's doing it great, but just to help her. Okay, so come to your pointing dog, and go immediately to your option, and hold for 5 deep breaths. When you're ready, Asmanette. Okay, so she started. Beautiful. You count your breaths, so I'm not counting your breaths for you. I want you to count your breaths, but go slow. Don't try to rush through your breaths. Make sure these hips are facing the floor. Lengthen. Stretch like you want to reach something. Engage all the muscles of the core every time you exhale. And when you're done with your 5 breaths, put the hand down, the foot down, bend the knees, and come back up. Other side. Here we go. This time, if you've lifted your foot, it's the left leg, I think. You have to decide which one you did. And imagine that you could squeeze the bones with your muscles. So squeeze all the bones with your muscles. It's a very active pose, lengthening, engaging the core, helping with the balance. When you're done with your 5 breaths, you come to a standing Tadasana. One other pose, actually probably 2 more poses that we're going to do for our core. This next pose is called plank pose. If plank is too intense for you today, please stay in pointing dog. Use your option, stay in pointing dog. If you'd like to try plank, try it today, then decide. So coming first into that pointing dog posture. This is actually tabletop, called tabletop as well, if we don't lift our leg or our arm. So come into tabletop. From tabletop, walk your feet out behind you, coming into this plank posture. Make sure that you tuck your tailbone under so that you don't arch through the back. Walk your feet back in, coming back into tabletop. If that was too intense on your wrist, you could do the forearm plank version. So coming to forearm plank, then you walk the feet out, lift the chest, flatten the back, make sure that your back is not arching. Walk the feet back in, stand back up, and shake it out. Now it's time for you to try your option for your 5 breaths. You either have tabletop, you can do pointing dog, you can do straight arm plank or forearm plank. Asmaret, which one are you going to try today? Straight arm plank? Okay, so go ahead and come to tabletop first. Everybody join if you're at home. Walk the feet out so that you can come to your plank. Good. In plank posture, your back is nice and flat. So counting your breaths, Asmaret, make sure you've got your 5 breaths. Nice flat back. Sometimes it helps to tuck the tailbone under if you're arching through your back. But Asmaret's got a beautiful plank. When you're done with your 5 breaths, you walk the feet in, you stand up, and you shake it out. Okay. The only other thing that I want to point out is, when you come to the plank, try to relax your shoulders. So instead of the shoulders up, pull them down. Let's try one more time, okay? So one more time, 5 breaths. So when you make sure that there we go. You can straighten the arms, but try not to pull the shoulders up to your ears. Go ahead and walk the feet out and stay for your 5 breaths. There, much better, Asmaret. Beautiful. She pulled the shoulders away from the ears. She's not arching through the back, but you can imagine pulling the belly button to your spine, pulling those hip bones towards each other, staying for the 5 deep breaths. When you're done with your 5 breaths, come back up to standing. Great. Let's move on to a boat pose. A boat pose, we need to sit down. So go ahead and sit down in the chair. Come towards the edge of the chair. And let me show you the options again. So place the hands at the side of your chair. Lift the chest up nice and tall, okay? And then lean back. So go ahead and put the hands behind you, Asmaret, or to the side, like this. Okay? So leaning back. Pull the shoulders away, but lift the chest. Good. Yes, you can bend the elbows and come back up. All right? So that is the first option. You can place your hands on the chair, but lift the chest, keep a nice flat back, and then bend the elbows as you lean back. But don't put too much weight in the hands. You're trying to strengthen through the abdominal muscles, and then lift up. Next option would be to bring the hands across the chest. So let's try that. Lift the chest, and then try not to round the back, just lean back. There, beautiful, good. and then sit back up. That was option 2. Option 3. So shoulders away from the ears, lift the chest, flatten the back, keep the back flat. Beautiful. And then sit back up. Option 4. Lean back. Notice, oh, much harder to do. And sit back up. And bring the hands down. Now we're also going to show you options with the legs. So I know there's a lot to remember. Let's bring the hands behind our back. Lean back. Keep the chest lifted, shoulders away. Another option would be to bring the legs up. Not so easy. So you can hold back the chair, lean back, bring the legs up, and then sit back up. Okay, so many options to choose from. You can either just keep the options with what you do with the arms, or the options could include lifting the leg. Much more difficult because it requires some strength through the hip flexor muscles and strength through the quadriceps when you start lifting the legs. The last option I'm going to offer today is a straight leg boat. So coming back, lift the legs if you want, and if it's available, you do straight leg. Lots of work through the quads, and come back. So that straight leg option, lots of quadricep strength and hip flexor strength. So you might not want to add the legs, you might just want to do options with the arms, or if you are going to add the legs, maybe you just keep the legs bent. Good, all right? So we're going to do 2 rounds of 5 breaths each, boat pose. Your option. Let's start with whatever option. We'll start with the first round. So bring it back. And this is, I said I wasn't going to show you another option, but here is another one. So count your breaths. Count your breaths. When you're done with your 5 breaths, coming out of the boat. If you chose an option that you thought it was going to be easier for you and you find that it's not, just change it. Come out of it and do it another one. Last one, Esmeralda, okay? So come into your option, your boat pose. Go ahead, come back, whichever option you want. Good. Now, there, beautiful. Lift the chest. Pull the belly button to the spine. 5 breaths, deep breaths. And release. Now take your blocks, bring it close to you again. So we just start to neutralize the spine. Stay there, Esmeralda, and we're going to do a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, lift the chest, arch the back. Exhale, round the back. 2 more. Inhale, lift the chest, arch to cow. Exhale, round the back to cat. 1 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And come back up to neutral. Adding the twist. Inhale, sweep the arms up over your head. Exhale, twist over the right, twisting. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist over to the left. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist over to the right, and this time stay there for 5 breaths. Counting your breaths again, Esmeralda. Good. When you inhale, imagine lengthening up. When you exhale, imagine twisting further. So every time you inhale, lengthen through the spine. Every time you exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper. If not, just hold it there. When you're done with your 5 breaths, you untwist, you sweep the arms up over your head, and you exhale, and let's twist to the other side. Holding it for 5 breaths. I could use the chair to help deepen me into the stretch. I could use my hand to help push, but every time you inhale, lengthen the spine. I can't stress that enough. Every time you exhale, you can deepen into this. Don't need to, but if you can, then deepen into the twist. And then untwist. Let's sit back as we began, as we now come into our seated Shavasana, the last posture for the class today. If you would like, you're welcome to lie down on the floor on your mat in your Shavasana. So in our seated Shavasana, it would be great to take a towel and place it at the back of your head. Esmeralda, there's a white towel over there for you. You can grab that. And what I'm going to show you, this will help you to relax into your Shavasana. So take your towel lengthwise and just kind of roll it up. Roll it up. Place it at the back of your neck. And then sit back and relax back. And then this way it helps to support your neck, yeah? So you can completely relax. You can have the hands either palms down on your thighs or even palms up. It's really up to you. Close your eyes. Relax your shoulders. Connect with your breath. Don't control the breath. Don't try to change it in any way. Just let it be natural. Let it be organic. Follow the path of the breath. Visualize the breath as it enters in through your nose, travels all the way down to your belly, and visualize it as it leaves your body. This is a great opportunity for you to also rid yourself of any negative thoughts, any negative feelings, things like stress, anxiety, doubt, fear, anger, judgment. It's a great time to imagine that with every exhalation, you rid yourself of things that are no longer serving you. Only you know what those are, and they change day to day. So take a few moments to think of and get rid of things, emotions, feelings that are not serving you. Hopefully, you have been able to get rid of things that aren't serving you in a positive way. And so now let's take these next few moments in silence to bring in gratitude. Everything you are grateful for. Life, breath, family, the sun, fresh air, the birds, whatever it is, what are you grateful for today? Reflect on that, and every inhalation, allow that to be absorbed into your body. And the last thing I ask you to do at this moment is now tune into the sensations in your body, the energy that might be flowing through your body. Maybe you find yourself more relaxed. Maybe you find your core energized and tingling, which would be great as well, as you know that you have worked your muscles of the core. Before you head out to your day, just take a moment to thank yourself for making it to your practice, for showing up. Take another deep breath, filling up your lungs all the way down to your diaphragm. Exhale and begin to blink your eyes open. Thank you for joining Asmaret and I on this practice, the chair yoga practice to strengthen our core. I hope you have a great day, have a great evening. See you next time. Namaste.